Okay, what you see here, let me show you real quick. Right here, if you look to the tree, this is a persimmon tree, and this is I believe this is a sapsucker right here. It's growing in between these two limbs, these two branches. So I'm going to remove this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what they call air layering. We are going to bruise this branch here, and we're going to have it produce some roots, and then we're gonna cut it, plant it, and you're gonna have another persimmon tree just like this. So let me show you the things that you need right here. If you look down here, you need your soil. Okay, this is just regular soil, but it's got some fertilizer in it. You need, like, the container, what you're gonna put the soil and what you're gonna wrap around the branch. Some foil. You need also some honey, which acts as a hormone to stimulate the root growth. Alright, so how we're going to do this first is, oh, and you also need a sharp knife, because you're going to be cutting out the bark here. So how we're going to do this is, we're going to come around here and just kind of make an incision. You don't have to be an expert here, but you don't want to cut too deep, but just enough so that you can remove what this little thin bark on the outside. Once you got the bottom, then you just move to the top. It's about a 3-inch section that you're covering. Basically what you're doing is you're bruising the branch, and you're going to cause the branch to produce roots out of the area that you're bruising. So now that I've got this section outlined here, I'm going to cut a slit right through here, like so. And then we're going to kind of just try and peel this off here nice, and you'll see that it's going to come off. Should come off. You want to watch your fingers. Oops, want that honey. Alright, sometimes you can peel this off easy. Now, I've seen this done on video. That's how I'm doing it. I'm not an expert, but actually this is my first time. It's kind of exciting. So you're basically bruising this branch. And it's amazing that from this area, see how that pulls out? That's pretty cool. See how it's pulling out there? Now we'll be able to come around all this area right here. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Okay, now we're going to take this honey. Now they do have like a powdered hormone that you can get at a store, and you can apply it on here, and they say that honey works the same way. So, applying it all around here, like so. Doesn't have to be a big amount. Alright, now this soil here, I've basically let it soak in some water, and before I put the soil in this container, this is the container we're going to put over this right here, like so, and it's going to cover kind of everything down here. You cut it so that it'll fit this, not perfect, but it'll work, you know. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to fill this thing with soil. So now that we have this sort of in place here, actually, that's as best as I can get it. What I'm going to do, I've got pre-cut tape here. I'm going to try and get this sealed here a little bit. On the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this soil right here. I'm going to squeeze out as much of the water as I can. I'm going to fill this with that soil. Try and get it in, compact it in there as much as I can. Now they also use sphagnum peat moss. I was just too cheap to go buy a whole bag just to do this one little project, so I didn't do it. So soil will work just as fine, just as well from what I've seen on other YouTubers. So basically you're covering that whole section that you bruised with soil. And we're going to put a little bit more in there. Actually, I'm going to leave that for my top. Okay, so now I've got that pretty much well covered in there. Now we're going to put the top here. Right now, let's see if I can. Might be a little challenging here. See if I can kind of. What I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and seal it. That's what I got this tape here for. Wherever your section is here, that just wrapping the tape around it so that it doesn't crack open on you. And this doesn't have to be perfect, but what's going to happen is when you remove this tape, you'll be able to see roots growing in through there. And when you see that, basically your job is done. That's when you go down in here, you snip that, and you have a new branch now, or you have a new tree that you can basically plant now. Let me go ahead and seal this other one. It's kind of messy, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Duct tape works pretty well for this kind of stuff right here. And then I'm going to cover this bottom part here, make sure it's all well covered. And take the rest of this right here, which is not a whole lot, but I'm going to try and fit it in here. And you gotta basically I'm going to cover this with foil because it's going to help keep everything in here moist against the sun. The sun is going to want to dry this up. So basically, you're going to foil this up here. That's why I got this foil paper here. You're going to come in here like so. And you're going to kind of protect the moisture in here with this foil paper. It really sounds like I know what I'm doing, but this is from watching YouTubers. Trust me. Anybody could do this. Just coming in here and you're protecting this section of air layering that you've accomplished. Coming in here, just wrapping everything, and this basically is going to keep a lot of the moisture in, and you'll be able to avoid the heat from drying everything out in there. And that's basically it. I mean, that's pretty tight. And this is what they call air layering. It's pretty cool. And we'll be able to come back in here in about a month, maybe a couple of weeks, and check out the roots and see if it does have roots. And if it does have roots, now you've got a whole new tree. It's like a clone. It's like a clone of this tree right here. It's exciting. We'll be able to check it later on. All right. Cool.